and first responders on the scene before the ambulance.
You think she might have had a stroke?
We ride along in Côte Saint-Luc. Well, next month, the first group of Montreal firefighters begins training as first responders. They'll be trained to stabilize patients in medical emergencies before the ambulance arrives. Well, within 2 years, designated firefighters in every station on the island will be able to serve as first responders. So, why is Côte Saint-Luc unhappy about this? Well, as our health reporter Gerri tells us, Côte Saint-Luc has had a first responder service in place for the last 27 years, and the city doesn't want to see it go.
They may be volunteers, but they're highly trained.
Trained on the defibrillator to shock a patient and monitor their heart rate, taking care of trauma calls, so, dressing wounds.
836, go ahead with the call.
Côte Saint-Luc's Emergency Medical Service, or EMS, gets the call from Urgence Santé, then rushes to the scene of a medical emergency.
You think she might have had a stroke?
I just think it's a really unique service we offer. We really make a difference in people's lives, and I like being there to help them and give them a sense of security.
Montreal's fire department also plans to offer that service.
We will be there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, from a 66-station pool of resources to respond with the closest unit to life-threatening medical emergencies.
When first response becomes the fire department's jurisdiction island-wide, Urgence Santé will only be dispatching calls to fire stations. Côte Saint-Luc's EMS could be out of business.
What we want to do is preserve what is a life-saving service.
City councillors say the first responders of Côte Saint-Luc can outperform the fire department.
We're better trained, we respond faster than the fire department can ever plan to do so. So we want to keep what great service we have in place now.
What's her medical history? Does she have a heart problem?
EMS volunteers get 120 hours of training. Firefighters will get 62 hours.
Côte Saint-Luc EMS is a fantastic training program. It is greater in terms of the number of hours, but the scope of practice for a first responder is defined by the Ministry of Health and is defined in law. Regardless of the number of training that the people from Côte Saint-Luc EMS have, they cannot do anything more than a firefighter first responder.
EMS claims an average response time of 3 minutes. The firefighters' plan is 8 minutes. But there's one criteria that can't be measured: the empathy the volunteers say they feel for their patients and the comfort of speaking to them in their own language.
A lot of firefighters in these stations that are Anglophone, a lot of our firefighters that are Francophone can still communicate in English.
People recognize us in the malls and they stop us, and it's sad to see us go. It's closing a chapter on the city of Côte Saint-Luc.
But that chapter is far from over. Côte Saint-Luc EMS still has 2 more years before the fire department's plan is in effect island-wide. Still time to wage the battle to save it. Gerri, CBC News, Côte Saint-Luc.